All right, you guys, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles. 1865 Rod here, coming back at you guys. I know we missed it last week, but we have a reason why. Something happened. Schaefer's gonna get into that, but anyway, Schaefer, what's up, man? How you doing, and what happened?
What's up, everybody? Schaefer in the house. I don't know,
Because we're reliable, man. We are solid.
pretty fucking reliable. We went like almost a year straight, never missed anything, and well, the equipment it just shit the bed, man. It turned out to be a terrible rendering. We're still trying to figure it out, but it just decimated the recording. We had a really good set of guests too,
we
man.
did, man. Let's shout them out. Shout out to Halen and Randy, man.
Absolutely.
Whenever we get Halen and Randy together, you guys need to watch because those two
yeah.
together, man, just this great energy. They're both really funny.
I think their energy was too powerful for the computer and it just
crashed
fucking
everything,
crashed it. So, and it sucked, dude. It was like an hour, 48 minutes in, and I was just like, oh my God. Then I just fought with it for like days just trying to get it right.
But you know what's funny? Like I told you, like we were gonna bring Stefan on, right? And
Oh,
for whatever
man.
reason, I'm like, man, let's just bring two. I don't think three. I'm not sure about the three setup, but imagine if we would have brought Stefan because he's been on 3 times, and every time he comes on, something it just doesn't work. He crashes or something. I'm sure he thinks, man, they're just like sabotaging.
Yeah,
me.
right. He's like, they're fucking with me. Nah,
It would have been a
dude.
4th in a row with Stefan's thing.
Really?
Yeah, it would have been 4.
That'd have been too much.
It's all bad.
That'd
But
been
that
too
was some of
much.
the early ones, like
Right,
when we first started.
we were going through growing pains. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, we're still going through growing
Still
pains.
are, man.
But you know what? We're willing to go through that pain to continue to grow so that we can keep bringing you some fun shit because
Grow with us.
It's fun with us. Yeah, grow with us, right? You know what I mean? Like
Enjoy
it's
the
like,
pains with
let's,
us.
Let's all get better together, you know,
it.
or some cliche ass freaking saying. I
Grow
don't
with
know.
us. Grow with
Whatever.
us.
Yeah, grow with us.
Speaking of which, hey, grow with us by hitting that like, hit the subscribe, share it, throw a comment in there if you want. But definitely, we're on this journey together. We appreciate you guys. Okay, so we're talking about some old school martial arts, or maybe not, but like kind of like bullshito moves from the 70s, maybe 60s, 70s, 80s. Is that a cuss word?
Hell yeah.
Bullshito?
60s, 70s, 80s, Bushido, freaking.
Bullshito.
Yeah,
It's not really a cuss word, is it?
No, it's not. You're thinking bullshito. We're
right, I
not
kinda
talking
said
about
that.
bullshit stuff. We're talking about
Bullshito.
some real deal moves that may have been put on film. And here's the thing. I don't know if it's just because they never hired like training consultants and whatnot, so they just do some shit that they saw in a book and they're like, oh, this looks good. A few of them are solid.
Yeah,
and
some
a
are
few of
solid.
these, actually, we're only going to probably go over like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But one of them absolutely had a legit consultant because it was one of the
Oh, yeah.
Gracies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, I think they had consultants, but it was what did they have back then? What did they have to work with back in the day? Like their consultants were just mainly like
it was some
karate.
dude who was like, well, I don't know karate, but I know crazy.
Yeah.
And then he
Yeah.
just jumped
They
up
didn't
and
have a lot
said,
to work with.
I saw this in a kung fu movie, and I think if we just adjusted it a little bit, it would look good on film.
So you want to do like the good ones first, and then go to like the worst offenders? How do you want to?
Dude, you just fire one out, and we'll start talking about it. 'cause
Okay.
Just tell me when I remember.
Let's do a good one first. Let's do a
Okay,
good one.
go
I
for
think
it.
it's good. Now here's the thing, we haven't really talked about these, so you may disagree, and I don't know, but I think this
possible.
is legit. So we all saw the triangle from Mel Gibson Triangle.
Hell
what was that
yeah.
movie though?
That was wow. Why are you doing
remember
like
now.
that?
I know, sorry.
It's like I'm getting too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal
the first
Weapon,
one, right?
Yes.
I
So-
think my verdict is that was legit. The way he did it was solid. I think he trapped it. He caught it nice.
Yeah.
It looked like he locked it up good, and I don't know. He did it right. I don't see
So,
any glaring mistakes.
It was
Plus, in
a
the rain,
really good
too,
fight, right? It was a really good fight going on. It was the end of the movie fight where
Gary Busey, right?
where
He's
he's fighting Gary Busey and they're going at it, and it's just back and forth, and they're both supposed to be special forces guys, well trained and all this good shit. Danny Glover's off to the side, he's like
No
he's
jiu-jitsu.
like, he's just fucking yelling at him, kill him Riggs or fuck him up Riggs or some shit like that. And it was a good fight, good punching, guys getting slammed up. They're in the rain. He's trying to mush him in the water and shit. And he works his way in to a triangle. And it was a legit triangle. And I'm going to definitely at least drop the little clip or a picture of something of the triangle.
No,
And
throw a clip.
it was, yeah, and it was good. Like, it was a legit triangle, and it's the way that I actually teach my triangles when we're talking about self-defense, right? It was a straight up self-defense triangle.
That is legit.
So someone who might not have a great deal of ground training, they might get their ass whooped if you slap this on them, right? So could it have been done better? For sure, because he could have taken that triangle and cinched it up. He could have threw 2 hands on the back of the head. He could have pulled down. He could have hipped up, and he could have just choked him unconscious. Right? Like the beauty of a triangle is
you choke him out.
You choke him out.
I don't remember what happened. How did he get out of it?
I think he kind of just punched his way out. Yeah, I think.
Did he escape the triangle in the movie?
I think he kind of. Did he kind of halfway go out or something? And then I don't know if he went out from the triangle.
He was like dazed or something, though.
Yeah, because then he jumped back up.
He did. They were fighting.
And then they both.
Bro, you're not getting out of a triangle like that. If you have a triangle cinched up, there's no getting out.
Yeah, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
And I remember they ultimately just shot him because triangle can't beat a bullet.
So it's kind of real, but it's also kind of fake. The fake part was like you're not getting out. If you have a triangle sunk in that deep, you're not going to get out.
Yeah, that's it. Party's done. Party's done.
But you're right. He didn't grab the back of the head, hip in, bring it in, because that's what would have finished the deal right there.
I mean, hell, what else could he have done? He could have switched to an armbar. He could have just broke the arm, and then he's fighting him with one arm.
Yeah.
There's
but
so many different
I don't
things.
think I'd let go of a triangle in a street fight. If I have it locked up, I ain't letting go, dude.
Nah, dude, I'm putting him to sleep.
Yeah,
put him to sleep, and then,
Yeah, you can't fight if you're out.
For real.
You can fight with an arm broken.
Then if you want, if you're that guy, you can run his pockets, see what kind of money he got in his pocket. I mean, look, if you fight me, you beat my ass, and you punch me all in my shit, and I'm like, hey, you know what? I got to get paid for this, man. I got to probably pay like a premium with Kaiser. I got to pay my damn my what is it? Copay. I got to pay my copay. So if you run your pockets, you got $50, bet I'm gonna need that.
So what's the verdict? That one's good.
It is good, man. I think it's really good. I think that it was done well on film for the 80s.
I think it was, yeah.
You know what I mean? This was the 80s, man. This is like nobody even freaking knew about jiu-jitsu back then. One of the Gracies were absolutely a consultant on that movie. I remember looking at it later.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I want to say it was Horion. No, it wasn't Hickson. I want to say it was like Horion or one of them. And, I mean, come on, you can't knock it, dude. You got Mel Gibson choking the shit out of Gary Busey.
That's pretty
and it looked good. It looked good. So that's the first one.
All right.
I mean, so realistically, what we're going to need from people is watch the clip, right?
Yeah.
See for yourself. What would you have done to tighten up the move? Because, see, now you're going to probably be coming at this from the mature jiu-jitsu competitor's freaking point of view. And you're like, well, if I was in the middle of this fight in the rain, in the mud, with this special forces guy who was blowing shit up and killing people and taking hostages, here's what I would have done. So, yes, give us what you would have done.
Yeah.
Because then we can just talk shit about that, too.
It's funny. I'm going off memory because, we haven't watched the clip. We have not watched the clip. I'm going off memory.
I remember that movie.
I think his posture was broken pretty good, too. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It was funny when he played the clip,
but
he had him pretty solid.
He was on his ass. So, yeah. And if you don't know, watch the clip, see it, and then give us your critique. Tell us how you would have done it better. Because, I mean, dude, hindsight is 20/20, right? We all know how to do a friggin' good triangle nowadays. So that was the first one. I like that one. That's good.
Okay.
Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon. All right. So the second one is, I'm trying to reference. It's not like it's in any one movie, but I do remember as a kid growing up, I used to watch that show, The Wild Wild West, with James West. He was the like a secret agent basically.
Hell yeah.
He knew how to fight. I think in real life it was Robert Conrad.
Right.
He did some martial arts. So
you sure it wasn't Will Smith?
No, that's the remake.
He did. I know. That's a remake. I know. I'm just fucking with. Go ahead. So Robert Conrad.
It was like the 1800s, and then they made him black. Like, they ain't going to work during the 1800s.
1800s? Well, I mean, there were black people in the 1800s.
They weren't working for the president.
Wait. Okay.
As secret agents?
Probably not as secret agents, right? Probably not as secret agents.
That's where you can't do it because
some shit is not realistic. Yeah. Okay, fine.
They were building the freaking White House. They weren't working.
Yeah, you're right about that as well. Dude, but Bass Reeves, he was a freaking lawman. He was out there. He was handling his business.
You could be a lawman on the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
but he was like the premise
he was like a fucking. He was not a Texas Ranger, but he was. He
you
was
could
like
be
a federal
I can see
sheriff
that.
or some shit.
Yeah, sheriff. He probably had that. Probably. But see, Robert Conrad, and James West was like smooth, dude. Yeah. He was like. Looked like a freaking model, dude. He was
James Bond.
They were like James
1800s.
Bond in the 1800s. They had a train. The train was all like high tech.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was his whole thing was like he was like a high rolling, like playboy type guy, right?
Dude, he was Bruce Wayne.
He was Bruce Wayne.
Because I mean, I'd rather say Bruce Wayne and James Bond. America.
But anyway, he would do this little flip. Now he would do, and actually shout out to Becca Bays because she took this actual flip. When remember that video Becca did when she showed like the old moves against the new moves?
I do.
So this was when he's like kind of the guy's running at you,
right?
And he grabs him, he drops his back and kicks him over.
Hell yeah!
And flips him over. Like he did that move probably like 100 times throughout the series. I'm like, oh, that's James West's little flip there.
That's his signature move.
That's a
right?
signature move, man.
So
what do you
ultimately,
think?
okay, damn, I'm trying to remember the name. It's more of a judo move. It's one of those where you're taking somebody's momentum. They're coming at you.
Yep.
You're going to control both arms or sleeves or whatever the case may be. Foot in the hip. You drop to your ass. You kind of roll up on your back. Elevate them.
Launch them.
Flip them over. Now, you're right. You can launch his ass, send him into the fucking wall, or nowadays we would just do the roll, hug the roll, go to full mount, then hit your ground and pound. But they weren't doing that.
No, they weren't
doing that because like old school like judo's got very limited randori, which is the ground fighting portion of it. Yeah, is it legit? Hell damn yeah, it's legit.
It is legit. It is.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say any names, but it just happened this Friday when we were training.
Really?
Yeah, we had one of our guys. They were on their back. They controlled the sleeves. Dude tried to stand up, elevated him with his feet in the hips, rolled his ass over, because that's also how you would similarly set up a helicopter armbar.
Oh, you're right.
The same shit gets set up from a helicopter armbar, right?
Yes.
And actually, I'll show both. I think I'll show the flip and I'll show the helicopter armbar, and you'll see the similarities in how the setup comes. I think with James West, though, it's usually with that run. He's like, he's coming at him, and it's like, okay, watch this shit.
Yeah.
You ever flip him off of like the fucking side of the train or some shit?
I don't remember, man.
I gotta see now.
There was like a million fights in every episode, but most of them were like punches and kicks.
Oh my god!
Not a lot of grappling, except for that little flip.
Which is always cool when you do see grappling, like.
And yeah. That's why I think it's interesting.
Yeah, man. Like if you start looking back at some of your old stuff, and especially if you're deeply ingrained in the grappling arts, like we are, and like I'm sure most of you are, when you start seeing what you do represented on TV or some shit, you're like, yo,
that's crazy.
Holy shit. You're like watching Thundercats or some shit. You're like, Lion-O just fucked this dude up. He just hit him with a drop Sayanagi. Or, it's just amazing when you see that kind of stuff. Or the Transformers. I didn't know robots could do an armbar.
They had a robot doing armbar?
I don't fucking know.
Crazy,
I'm sure there were. Usually Megatron just picks somebody up and rips them in half.
He does the back bend.
Like Bolo, right, right. We were just talking about that shit too.
Yeah.
Where you just get him and you fold his ass in half.
Like, why would that hurt you? You just,
because man,
it's like you're doing a sit-up.
everybody's not flexible. Everybody can't do a sit up.
That's definitely.
He might have like osteoporosis or some shit. He got weak bones.
Yeah.
Get his ass folded up. So Jim West. Is it legit?
It's legit. It's legit.
It's legit. Damn, we got to get like some kind of grading system, like 2 thumbs up. We got to get I give this 3 out of 5 drop Sayanagis or something.
Right. You're right.
All right.
Great amount of 5.
We're going to talk about that off on camera. We're gonna figure it out so we can
put
it up. Yeah,
I like that.
Because this is going to happen again. We're going to talk about
because some are like
there's
nuance to it. Like they could work, but the way they're executed might not be.
Absolutely. Speaking of, I think the next one you're going to mention, we were looking at it. We're like,
oh man.
We're like, will this bullshit really work? Go ahead, tell it.
Well, so when I said the Bolo thing, because the Bolo, just to put context.
You're gonna go Bolo first. I was thinking the other one. Nope, do Bolo first.
Okay, because Bolo is when I said folding the guy up. Number one, that's stupid. So we don't even
dumb.
show that. That's dumb. He basically had a guy just in his arm and fold him, and the guy died. Like, okay, like you're just hugging me to death. That's not gonna work.
Hell
but the one that was decent was the armbar, but he did it so sloppy. It was the ugliest armbar I've ever seen in my life.
Super duper ugly sloppy armbar.
And what was your problem with it?
Well, with it there was just no tightness. It was loose, man.
It's so loose.
Like so.
He just like steps over him, right? Doesn't he like fall and then he just like
dude? He had his right foot like under the guy's ass. His left leg was over his
floppy.
face.
It's just like this.
Knees weren't pinched together.
Yeah.
The arm wasn't even pulled all the way up to his chest. It was like down by his nuts. It was weak. But the concept obviously works. It's an arm bar. We all know arm bars work.
Yeah.
We've all been arm barred. If you haven't been arm barred, you have not been doing jiu-jitsu long enough, because how the hell do you not get arm barred?
Is that the oldest armbar in a film, you think? Is there one older than that? Because I want to say Enter the Dragon was like, that's got to be 70.
That's like 74, 5, 6
Yeah,
in
it's
that
old.
range.
I wonder if there's an older version of an armbar in a film. I'd like to see that.
I would like to see it too.
'Cause when we saw that-
I can't imagine that there is.
When you check it out, I remember when I was a kid and I saw that armbar, I was like, oh my God, that's so cool.
So you know what's crazy? Bruce Lee is the one who taught him the armbar for the movie. Like, there's actually
He didn't do a good job.
well, no.
But
Bruce
the
Lee
concept
knew
is
how
there.
to do it, but
Yeah, he
Bolo just did it kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But there's actually a picture. Damn, I guess I'm gonna have to throw that in there too. There's a picture of Bruce Lee teaching him that armbar, but then he's the one who did the armbar. Bolo did the armbar in the movie.
Who taught Bruce Lee jiu-jitsu? Or did he know
I don't
jiu-jitsu
know.
at all? He probably just knew a couple
remember
of
Jeet
basic
Kune Do. The whole idea of Jeet Kune Do is taking elements of different martial arts and bringing them together. So his shit was learn everything. He was like one of the first real, in my opinion, mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's like a
Yeah.
first, like a rudimentary MMA, but
For
he didn't
sure.
really have a whole lot of grappling.
No, and
Not a lot
look,
of takedowns either. They'd
and-
have some flips. So judo was their way of taking down, like flips,
correct
and throws.
And well, I remember Bruce Lee did in an interview. He said, you could have a guy who's been training 20 years or 10 or 20 years or whatever, doing kung fu and all these other things, or doing karate and whatnot. And he's like, you give me a year and I'll teach you wrestling and boxing and you'll beat that guy. Because
crazy.
it's just more practical. I mean,
He said that?
Yeah. Like, because wrestlers, for the most part, being able to take a guy down, especially if they don't know how to fucking deal with it, boom. Now you shot a double, you climb up on top of him, and now you're boxing, you start punching the dog shit out of
Yeah.
him. You ground and pound. I mean, hell, Randy Couture. Randy Couture would be a great example of a wrestler, flip him onto the ground, ground and pound his ass. You know?
Who was the first guy in MMA to actually do the ground and pound though? Like modern MMA, like modern, 1993 and above.
Randy Couture
Was
was,
it Randy
the
Couture?
guy. He used to beat
Matt
the shit out
Hughes?
of. No, man, before Matt Hughes
Really?
was Randy Couture.
No. I know who. Marco Huas.
Before
Really?
Marco, who he was the king of the streets. He wasn't
he
like
was.
a ground.
actually really
he
wasn't
was
ground and
foot
pound.
stomping motherfuckers.
Yeah, he was.
Now he got
That
that,
was
shit
awesome.
off. Yeah, he
was
used
crazy.
to bust your toes up, boy.
Yeah.
He used to stomp your shit out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think the first Tito Ortiz also. Tito Ortiz
That
and
was
Randy
the era
Couture.
though. That was the whole era
But
of
yes,
like ground and pound.
but they were both wrestlers.
Yeah.
With rudimentary boxing,
Yeah.
and they would just kind of dump you.
You're right. I think it might have been Tito Ortiz. It might have been around there.
But now both of them, I think Randy more so, would beat the shit out of you from your guard. You'd put him in guard, thinking like, "Oh, I saw Hoist Gracie do this in UFC 1. I'm gonna hold him in a guard." And Randy Couture would just posture up, start punching you in your shit, just bop, 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 and he'd beat you up from guard. Or he would at least advance to half guard. And a lot of people don't see that shit either, right? Man, this is like getting all off fucking subject.
No,
but
it's on something,
if
dude.
you
We're talking about this.
if you just move to half guard,
Yeah.
like if somebody thinks, oh, I got him in guard, blah blah blah, blah. If you pass the half guard and you just start punching the
Start
shit out of
dropping
people,
bombs.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
You don't have to pass full. In fact, passing to full guard allows him to now shrimp away from you and do a
Yeah.
lot of other shit. Half guard, you can tie his leg up with your leg. You're both intertwined, and then you just start elbowing him in the head, freaking punching him in shit, freaking headbutt him a couple times.
Who was
You
that
can-
guy that
you,
teach
you
you,
can
remember?
bite him if you wanted to get out of your arm bar. Because remember, we got to talk about that with the bowling arm.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
What were we about to ask? You were saying?
There was a teacher. I can't remember the guy's name. The MMA guy. He was a teacher, and then he started doing MMA. He was really, what's his name? He was a big ground.
Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin.
Rich Franklin.
Yes.
Yeah, he was awesome, dude.
Yeah, Rich
Franklin
good,
was
man.
freaking awesome, man. Him and his purple and brown shorts, or
Yeah.
purple and pink, brown
Rich
and
Franklin.
pink, brown and pink. He used to wear brown and pink shorts. But yeah, Rich Franklin was cool as shit. But back to Bolo and his shitty
Okay, so
arm
Bolo.
bar.
Okay, so not. Yeah, it was a terrible armbar.
It was
but
a terrible arm bar,
and-
and it was a worse escape.
That's what I was to say. So did he get the armbar?
Okay,
didn't
let's
really get-
pretend. Let's
didn't get
for
it,
the
did he?
sake of argument say he was about to get the armbar because the guy he was fighting, he was like, "Oh my god, what do I do? I
never
don't know
seen
how to
this
get out.
before."
I've never seen this before. How would I get out? Oh, I know.
I'm gonna bite his ankle.
But his fucking calf. Just
Yeah.
he turned into a human piranha.
Okay, so like think about it. Would that work if somebody bit your? I don't think it'd even work, dude. I'll snap in the arm, dude.
If you bit me and I had a real set-in armbar,
Bro, that arm is gone.
I'm taking it home.
Yeah.
I'm taking it home.
I wouldn't advise that. And here's a funny thing. I think in the thing he lifted it up with one hand and bit it. All he had to do is try to, if he could lift it up, just pop it
Push
over
it over your head.
He would have rolled in, tucked the arm. He would have been out. But
keep in mind, this Kumite was mainly a striking karate freaking tournament. So none of them knew this shit, right?
Yeah,
Nobody knew what the hell to do. Bolo barely knew how to do an armbar, right? And, who the fuck is that guy? I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Bill Saxon. The guy who's fighting?
I'm going to have to
John
take your
Saxon.
word for it. John Saxon?
John Saxon.
All right, I have to take your word for it because I don't know off the top of my head.
I know it's Saxon for sure, but I don't know if it's John. I think it is John Saxon.
Well, hey, man, he got out with some bullshit, but it was cool for TV. Yeah. It was cool for the movies, right?
And he had like gi pants on too, so how are you really going to bite through those gi pants?
You got strong teeth,
like
man. You got to drink
work
your milk, make sure you got enough. You got like the calcium in your teeth got really good enamel.
I call it bullshito.
You're going to call it bullshit?
Yeah. I got to call bullshito on that one.
Yeah, that is a unlikely escape.
Like the armbar is legit. Like the way he did it was not legit, but the concept is good. The armbar is real, but he just did it poorly.
Armbar done correctly, it's a fight ender.
Yeah.
Well, okay, it's the beginning of a fight ender because if you break a guy's arm, well, now he actually can get loose because now his arm is spaghetti. But now he's got one arm.
Hitchhike now.
Yeah, right. He can hitchhike and slide out. Yeah. But now you've taken away a massively major weapon, and it's like, okay, now I'm fighting you with one arm. Let me break the other one. So yeah, it's all bad. What I was also going to say, because this armbar was loose and it was terrible, and I was going to say when I'm showing moves, one of the things I always tell my students, I say, listen, once you get in there, right, I need you to stay in tight. And they're like, well, how tight? I'm like, look, you need to be tight as a crab's ass because that's waterproof. That's how tight you're supposed to be. That's how tight your armbar should be. It should be locked in. I dream a genie type deal, you know what I mean? Knees pinched together. Like, man. But, I mean, I'm sure we all know how to do arm bars.
I got a good one for you.
What do you got?
How you just said break the other arm. So you remember that one episode? Remember Oz?
Absolutely.
What's the guy's name? Who was the guy?
Beecher. Beecher was the guy who got his shit broke.
Bro, he got
and
both arms and both legs.
I can't remember
What's the other guy's name? Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name.
So the guy who broke the arm, he was also on Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
SVU.
Or
SUV? No,
SVU.
SVU. You said SUV.
I did it right. You know what I mean?
I knew what you meant. Yes, he was on Special Victims Unit.
Yeah.
He played,
there's like a million of those shows.
There's
way
like too many.
100,000 episodes. So you
way too many. Even though I can't lie, I still watch it. I'm just waiting for it to go off the air because, well, we'll discuss that off the air as well. But
you know who the demographic is for those shows?
I do, so we'll discuss that off the air. So
we ain't gonna go that deep.
So, anywho,
good job, man. You already know where I'm going up.
I love that show. He played.
He was also
Stabler. He played Detective Stabler.
Yeah.
But in Oz, I can't remember the dude's name. Now I'm gonna freaking throw it up. No, who he played? He was like he was one of the white supremacist dudes.
Oh, the guy who plays he plays the Spider. He was in Spider-Man. He plays.
Yeah, he played in that.
He's in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he's freaking super famous.
I don't remember the guy's name.
Anywho, so he decided to just fuck Beecher up, man. And if you don't know what Oz is, first of all, Oz is an old throwback HBO TV series about
prison.
The Oswald Correctional Facility, right? It's a fake prison, and
pretty
it was like this high tech. Yeah, it's very disturbing show. It's a high tech prison and all this, and they used to put these guys in here. And anyway, this one guy was named Beecher. He was in jail for like
a drunk driver.
Yeah, drunk driving. He killed somebody.
Yeah, little kid or something.
They lock his ass up. And needless to say, he has a bad time in jail.
Yeah, he was an attorney before.
Oh, yeah. He has a terrible term.
Yeah.
You should watch Oz. If you have never seen that, go back in time, watch that. You can rent it. You can freaking, I don't know how the hell you watch your shows, but watch them. Anyway, this guy decides to whoop Beecher's ass, right? He used to do jiu-jitsu, right?
He did,
this
that
guy,
was his
right?
character did, right?
His character did jiu-jitsu. So he grabs Beecher and he arm bars him once. Bow! Blows his elbow out, right? Then he just moves to the other arm. Bow! Blows that out. Then he knee bars him. He basically crippled
he
this
broke
motherfucker.
both legs.
Yes.
And both arms.
Yes.
He was in a body cast.
Crippled his ass. He was freaking crippled, dude.
So you're leaving a little part out.
I mean, there's a lot of parts I like that.
So here's the thing, and this is like way before I was doing jiu-jitsu. So when I first saw it, okay, so you're right. The guy that set him up, they brought him down to a gymnasium, right? And then they kind of got Beecher all riled up, and the other guy, the tough guy, was in there waiting, and he goes, let him go. So they basically just said, let him go fight the guy, right?
Yep.
Let Beecher go fight Stabler. Let Beecher fight Stabler. Stabler's like, let him go. Come on, let's fight. So at that time, I thought there's no way he's going to be able to break all his freaking arms. There's just no. I didn't think it was realistic.
You didn't think it was realistic?
I didn't think it was back then. Oh,
you were like, how are you going to break somebody's arm?
Yeah, I just like, there's
that?
no way this guy's that tough. There's no way, like, he could just break both his arms and legs. I mean, he's still another man. He's going to be able to defend himself to some degree, but, like, that was way before jiu-jitsu, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's legit, 100%.
That's realistic. Yeah, you'll cripple
and
the shit out of somebody.
I want to say either heel. I don't remember. We need to. I want to see if he heel hooked him or how he broke.
I think straight knee bar.
Was it knee bar?
I think it was just straight knee bar. Yeah, yeah.
I gotta remember that. All right.
Hell yeah.
But that's legit. I know we didn't even talk about that one, but that one is one that we just threw in when you said
I know,
breaking
right?
both arms. Yeah.
That shit was great.
Yeah, it was all bad. Wasn't great.
What's the next one? Oh, I know what the next one was. Let me see. Let's see if you're going to say this one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is this the Charlie's Angel one?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
This was actually pretty funny because doing these sometimes it requires a little bit of research, right? So I'm looking at these moves. I'm going back in time. I'm looking at these 70s shows, and I ran across Charlie's Angels. Like, they're not the new one I'm talking the old school one with Farrah Fawcett Majors and Jacqueline Smith and what's the other one? Kate Jackson, right?
I don't know. I just know,
It's like from the
I just know
70s.
Lucy Liu, homie.
No, that's the new one, dude. No, dude. No.
I don't know.
Lucy Liu is from like it's
I
like
know. I'm just saying. I only know Lucy Liu.
yeah, no.
I don't know
It's
anybody
from the
else.
show.
I know it's
Charlie's
from the
Angels.
show.
You know what's funny about that? Okay, that show ran for 5 seasons, right?
Right.
You could ask anybody that at least is remotely familiar with shows of the 70s, and you could say, "Who's the Charlie's Angels?" And they're going to say, "Oh, it's Farrah Fawcett Majors."
Fawcett.
Right? You know, she was only on season 1.
Really?
She quit after season 1. All 4 seasons was replaced by Cheryl Ladd, who's kind of like a nobody.
Well, I guess she's
Like,
somebody
Farrah had
now.
such an impact that, like, for whatever reason, she is forever associated. But she was like, she was
That's
the
chick-
Pam
they got
Anderson.
like- yeah, I'm gonna say
of-
that's the poster
She was the
chick,
blonde
right? She's the
bombshell-
one where
yes.
everybody's got their
Bro, I had that
Fawcett
poster. Everybody
put-
had
you
that poster. We
with
all
the
had
fucking
it.
the feathered hair and shit, right?
She was fine, dude. Come on, man. Farrah Fawcett. She was the Pam Anderson of the 70s.
Fine as frog hair.
Yeah, and then you had Pam Anderson of the 80s.
Right.
I don't know who the 90s and 2000s. Every decade pretty much has their one hot blonde
Probably
bombshell.
Oh, wait, she wasn't blonde, but
Gotta be
Cindy,
blonde.
Cindy Crawford was the one during the night, I think.
Yeah, she's not a blonde bombshell.
She's
though.
not blonde.
But yeah, who was a blonde? I don't know in the 90s. But every generation has that one kind of like
You know who people were digging? They were
were they
digging
digging
Britney
tonight?
Spears.
Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I'll
they
go
were
with
digging
that.
Britney Spears.
I'll go with that.
Yeah,
So basically, I think now it just shifted from like TV shows to music, because now you got like Taylor Swift, right? Everybody's like Swifties and all that.
Don't get me started.
I know, but she's like the one. Every generation has that one girl. But anyway, if you go back to the 70s, Farrah Fawcett Majors was the one. She was the one. But anyway, when you watch a show, if you just go on YouTube, Charlie's Angels original
Right.
one, you're gonna see the first episode when they first do the opening scene. Jacqueline Smith does this flip.
They're showing like the police training. They're
Yeah,
showing
'cause
because they were all like cops.
They were in
or
the
some shit.
academy.
Yeah,
They were in the academy. That's the
Yeah,
premise of the
yeah,
show.
yeah,
The guy
gotcha.
Charlie's a rich dude.
He recruits them. He recruits them out
from
of
the
there.
academy.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're like private investigators. But while she's in the academy, it shows her going against this dude, and then she does that little arm flip where it looks so stupid, right? And then like she spins around and flips him. You know what I'm talking about,
Oh,
right?
I know, dude.
Okay, so
it was
first
a
off-
judo move.
Does it work? Will that flip actually work?
Fuck no. So there's caveats.
Yeah, there are.
Right. Okay.
Show
So
the clip.
she's.
Let's show the
I'm
clip.
definitely gonna put it in there, and,
Yeah.
and people will see it. It's just like, okay, here's the move, right? That's bullshit. So now you understand this move is bullshit. If you're standing face to face with somebody, can you control their wrist? You can do a 2-on-1 wrist grab.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can lift the arm. You can go under. 100%. That can happen. You twist, and it's going to hyperextend the arm for sure. The unbelievable part is that the guy flips over. It's like
He just flipped with it, right? He rolled with it.
because there's no momentum that
Yeah.
would actually flip you. The momentum would just break your
It'd be
fucking arm.
So it's weird. Okay, so it is kind of legit in a way. Is it?
The pressure that it would put on your arm is 100% legit. You could absolutely break somebody's arm that way, right? The flip is the bullshit.
I'm in an alternate universe. You're telling me a Charlie's Angels movie is legit?
I'm telling you, it's totally legit, dude.
That's so weird.
Like,
okay, now
it's totally legit.
What if she hit the move? Okay, what if she hit the move, and what if he tried to roll out to not get his arm
So
snapped?
if he rolled out,
that would happen,
and that's kind of what the flip.
I'm wondering if that's
did.
what it was.
The flip actually alleviated the pressure, right? If you do that to someone who doesn't train, like that flip was bullshit, but the flip just happened because the guy, when he flipped over, he instantly alleviated the pressure from the armbar, right?
So maybe wait, what if they did that in training and the academy said, okay, you're going to do the arm move, and to not get your arm snap, you're going to roll out.
But he didn't roll out, dude. He did a up in the air,
he fell hard,
ass over freaking tea kettle flip.
He went hard, huh?
Yeah.
Like if that's on concrete, he's done.
If you
it's
tease
over.
that as your freaking defense, you're crazy.
Your defense smacked the earth.
Yeah, just fucking exactly. I'm just gonna smack you in the head with earth.
Oh man,
that's a bad defense. So let's say he did roll with it though, right?
Yeah.
Let's say she grabbed it, boom, she started to hyperextend, and he kind of did a dive roll. Legit.
Yeah.
A dive roll could maybe pull you out of that. However, now she still has 2-on-1 control. In this instance, she drops into a 1976 Bolo armbar.
Wait a second, you know what?
And she can finish it still.
I think the one that little clip, I think there was another clip where because they took those clips from the actual one of the episodes. Is what they did. But I think when you watch the whole thing, I think she does almost like she gets control on the top.
Which
she almost like a little Neon Bailey or something.
So if you did that move, boom, if he rolled with it, right? If he didn't
I
roll
think
with
she
it,
did.
Right. If he didn't roll with it, his head would be pointed to the ground.
Yeah.
She would have leverage lifting his arm up in the air. And that's also control. Because you switch from a 2-on-1 to a single. So you just control the wrist with one hand, you control the elbow with the other, you can press down and lift up. And that's just good control.
No, I think so on this one, I think what happened is like he did the flip thing, he fell.
Right.
And then she transitioned to like a little baby Neon Belly, you know what I mean? She weighs like $115, I think. But anyway, whatever it is she weighed, she did a little mini. I think so.
Okay, because if she flipped over, she
could still
kept
the arm.
Right, she could still control the arm, twist it back a little bit, maybe knee on the belly. Now you're gonna make me find the whole.
Well, you know what's funny is that like I had to watch. Like I watched this clip a million times, and I don't remember. I think I remember seeing that though, but I ended up watching some of the episodes just because, like, for research purposes only.
For research purposes.
But you know what? It was actually pretty good, dude. I was like, it's not bad, man. Like, what it is, it doesn't have special effects at all. It doesn't have anything good. But the storyline was actually, it's weird because I was watching that and I kind of just got sucked into it. And I ended up watching the whole thing. I was like, that actually wasn't bad.
Listen, man. Do you remember a while ago I was telling you, like, I am on a 70s, 80s kick of TV shows? I think a lot of those shows were just better.
They were
but
good.
they were better in their own regards.
In their own way, yeah.
Because you're right, Charlie's Angels, if you're looking for special effects driven, this ain't it. But if you're looking for an era where things were a little bit different and you could watch it, you could laugh, you could watch it, not be offended.
Exactly.
You could just like, you're like, you know what? That's just what the fuck was going on back then, right?
And it was more realistic too. It was more realistic, like
to a degree, yes, to a degree.
Well, like
it was realistic for the time.
For the time, well, like okay, for example, like I gotta go there. Okay, so like the Charlie's Angels, like they were these three like attractive girls, right? But what I didn't see, like they were very smart. They were very calculated. They played the long game. It almost reminded me of like a little Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Like they played the long game, but they would outsmart guys with their beauty.
So
there was no like one-on-one fighting.
Right.
Bro.
It
they
wasn't
ain't beat no 200-pound
a guy
guys.
standing here
dude, none
against
of that.
this like 200-pound guy,
none of that.
115-pound girl, and then she just beats the dog shit out.
There might be a situation where she like maybe.
Well, you said there's one where she fucking hit him with a bowling pin, right?
Yeah, but that could happen. That could legitimately happen, right?
Damn right.
But usually when the scene,
115-pound chick smack you in the head with a bowling pin,
you're going out.
You're gonna have a bad day.
But when the scene comes to like a climax, it's really like the police show up and they have them as support. They have other people. It's not them.
It's not them doing the full takedown.
No, it ain't no.
You know what?
Atomic Blonde.
Dude, I was about to say like a fucking
that.
7-minute fight scene in Atomic Blonde where she's beating the dog shit out of like 10 special forces trained guys. It's like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Keep training, ladies. I'm just saying. Don't stop training. Look, just recognize that. Listen, there's a difference. Yeah, there's a difference, right? I don't expect to see even your highly trained 115-pound woman then beat the shit out of this other highly trained 200+ pound man. come on, like, come on. You're right. In that instance, you're dealing with more realism because Lucy Liu. Hey, Lucy Liu. So Lucy Liu would get out there and just beat the dog shit out of a guy. Doesn't matter how big he is, right? So, okay, so there's realism there.
There's realism.
And I was going to add to, like, see, just those old shows, dude. Like, I told you, I'm on an All in the Family kick.
That was a good show.
I've been watching.
You couldn't make any of these shows today, though. None of these shows could be made today. Somebody would get offended.
I'm on season 9 right now of All in the Family. There's only 9 seasons. Within 2 months, I watched damn near every episode of that show.
They're pretty good, though.
They're so good. I'm sitting up here. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I should go to sleep. Fuck it. One more episode. And I watch one more episode, drink a beer, and I'm like, oh, shit, this is hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
They're just good shows.
Well, I think what it is, too, is like they have to rely on story. They actually had good storylines because they didn't have special effects. They didn't have any of that stuff to really kind of add as filler. So you had to have a solid story, and the acting was pretty good, too.
And even the A-Team, like the A-Team was... It was borderline.
That was
bullshit.
80s, right?
Yeah, it was like
Was
I love the
80s?
A-Team. I remember when they were like, "Oh, this is a special forces team." Blah, blah. Dude, I remember when I wanted to join the Army was because I used to read so many special forces books and Army infantry books and watch the A-Team and watch Chuck Norris and freaking what was it? Where he was going back to get the freaking hostages from Nam, and dude, like that shit pushed me into the Army and it pushed me into the infantry. I was like, I can do this shit. I want to crawl through the mud and blow shit up. That's what the fuck I did.
See, Chuck Norris is more 80s. We started getting a little bit of special effects back then. There were a lot of practical effects, a lot of blowing stuff up. I don't think in a lot of the 70s ones, you didn't really have a whole lot.
As much.
But you know what they did have that was totally fake? Like whenever a car, like sometimes maybe she'd drive a guy, hit him off the cliff, right? The car immediately blows up.
Oh, dude.
Never happens. Cars are they don't explode. They're not
just
bombs.
Explode.
But that was like the thing in the 70s. The car
that was
explode.
the shit, dude.
It's so
just like, off the cliff, boom. Every
Stupid
fucking
things.
time. You're right. Damn. Shit.
And they had those big
best
old
car
boats.
chase scene. Bullet.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows that.
Anyway.
Yeah. And that's another one.
There's been some other ones too, though. You know what else had a really good chase scene? I mean, it's not a bullet chase scene. It's a very special effect laden chase scene.
Oh, I think I know one.
But you're not going to get this one.
All right, go ahead.
The freaking the Matrix Revolutions, I think, whatever. When they're chasing them down.
Oh yeah, with
in
those
the
two
street,
Cadillacs.
with and the little ghost guys who floated out of the cars and shit, and the fight scene with Morpheus blocking shit in the seatbelts. Damn it! All right, way off subject. We were talking about Bolo's fucking bullshit armbar. So
we went to the flip thing.
But we were ending it. Wait, look, follow me. We ended it with the Charlie's Angel flip, which actually would have been a control move that if the guy would have rolled, she could have also spun into the bullshit Bolo armbar.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I see where you're going. Okay.
That was it.
Okay.
That was all the reasoning behind
So it's kind of legit.
It's legit. The flip is just bullshit.
Do you think it'd be practical for you to get an arm and then spin around like that?
Yes. Especially if you're doing it
untrained person.
Untrained or unexpected.
And here's the thing.
If you're fighting the Joker from the 1970s, come here, Grandpa. I'm going to flip you with this shit.
The average guy now, at least they watch UFC, they watch MMA.
And they know it.
They have some little understanding of some of these things.
I'm going to do a shout out to my brother. He's going to be pissed off. My brother was like, listen, man. He's like, I've been watching the UFC for like 20-something years. He's like, you going to try to tell me I'm not a purple belt?
I know, it's very good. Okay, so let me throw this at you. Who do you think will win? Take the average guy, not the outliers, the average guy of today. Your average dude who's like 30-year-old man.
Cool.
He's at Home Depot, whatever.
Is he an accountant?
He's an accountant. Let's say.
Fuck yeah, he's an accountant.
Average dude, right?
Right.
But he never trained any martial arts.
Okay.
Against his counterpart from 1972. Now, the reason I say there's a difference is because the guy from today, he freaking watches UFC. He sees, he's aware of ground and pound. He's aware of jiu-jitsu. He's at least is aware of some of these things. Even though he hasn't done it, would you say he would have an advantage?
You are saying that this guy...
He might have
I'm going to use my big scientific word. This guy would learn some of his moves through osmosis. He would actually just kind of absorb them by just experiencing them and watching them, seeing them on TV, and they were more legit practical moves versus the guy who watches Kung Fu theater all day in the 70s.
Well, I would say, okay, yeah, it's close. Like the guy from the 70s, he might not even have a game plan. He might just go in there and just start swinging, right? Where the guy from today...
Well, he would have watched Kung Fu. He would have watched, like,
so
the
he do
old
a
Kung
stupid
Fu
kick.
movies.
Right,
Right,
so he's got that. But the guy from today at least would know, all right, I gotta take him to ground and ground and pound. Like most everybody would think that's the strategy.
Or
right?
I'm gonna lock my legs around him and hold
Yeah,
him.
if he's
and
out,
that's a guard.
it's a guard or something, right?
Yes. I think
so. Do you
that-
think who do you think would win, or would it even matter?
So, once again, I'm going to try not to.
It's a weird question because
no, but
it's
I'm
so
gonna try not
nuanced.
to spin off into some no land.
No, spin
here.
away, man. Spin away.
The average guy.
They're both the same, but both these guys are the same, like height and build and all that. Actually, wait. You know what? No, that changes things. Because the average guy today,
A little bit taller.
he's a little bigger. The average guy in the 70s, he's weighed like 160 pounds.
I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to our guys now. I'm going to say the guys now are going to do better. But then here's why I was about to not say that. I think people were just fucking tougher back
They
then.
were pretty tough, dude.
And that was going to be my issue. But I don't want to go to that because that leads me down the path that I don't want to go down right now today.
Well, I'll give you an example. Okay, so in one of these freaking Charlie's Angels episode, there's a guy. I know you see what I've been doing last
I know.
week. But
You're
anyway,
watching
they're
it.
actually pretty good. So
They are.
one of the guys is like one of these mobster guys. He just looks like your average freaking Joe, right? He's
sure.
like mid-30s guy. Anyway, he has to end up running to his car for whatever reason, chase after somebody. This dude freaking books, bro. I'm like, holy crap, that guy was fast. It was like,
Right.
Like today, it's like people just don't run that fast. We're just not used to running, I think. Like this dude was jetting it, you know?
Fair enough.
I think that we were so active back then.
Yeah.
That running was not a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal.
Well,
Look,
when's the last time you sprinted? I haven't sprinted, bro. in a
It
while.
used to be in high school and in elementary school.
Yeah.
It was required. These were required. You used to climb up ropes. You used to fucking run. You used to do all kinds of shit. They
Yeah,
had
we don't run
calisthenics.
anymore.
We
Like,
don't do any
I
of that
don't
shit.
run.
But actually, no, you know what? No bullshit. I'll tell you what.
Unless you're Tom
My school
Cruise doing
district,
that run, you just-
super fast run, Tom
Yeah.
Cruise. No, my kid still has to do the mile and all that. Like they get
She's
her out
13.
there. No, but I'm saying in high school.
Oh,
They make them still go out.
Yeah.
Like the school
Well, that's my-
district, they make them still go out and they make them run. They make them do all these exercises and shit.
no,
So that's cool.
this guy was like he was like a 40-year-old man, 40-year-old man.
Once you get older, man, nobody's sprinting.
No, but he was sprinting, dude. Like, and I
legit.
they just looked like. But no, number one, people were they weren't like they were thinner back then too,
Yeah.
right?
If the
70s.
average Joker jumped up off the couch and tried
He's
to
gonna
sprint
be in better
down the
shape
street,
back then.
he will pull his fucking hamstring.
Yeah.
He'll blow his whole ass out. It'll be terrible.
Well, I think you just
It'll be
were more
terrible.
active back then, just
think so.
because of the lack of technology.
Yeah.
You know,
There was no Ubers.
no Ubers.
Oh yeah, I mean, life.
They had their little tech.
Life is easier today.
Their
It
tech
just really is.
I think it was easier then. Well, it was easier in the way of like, yes, we're more comfortable, but I think it was
Yes, we're
simpler
more
then.
comfortable. It was simpler
So
then.
simple
We're
back then,
more
dude.
comfortable now.
Like
And-
you see
and-
how
and
these
it's
criminals get
reflected.
away. They just like, yeah, we'll
Just
just
run.
like, yeah, just run and we'll get away. You physically remove yourself from the area, and,
it's-
you might
hey,
never get caught.
Some places you don't have to run. You just take it and
crazy,
you
huh?
walk away. If it's under $900, you just leave.
Like think of that. Like think of that. It's crazy, huh?
Dude, damn. We're so far off subject. We at least talked about some grappling shit, but listen to this.
still funny.
This
It's
was
related.
crazy, dude. I was driving yesterday, right? Went to some freaking Korean restaurant, and across the street there was some chicks getting arrested at Sephora or whatever, right? Whatever, that's like some makeup shit. I think. Anyway, so my kid's like, Dad, look at that. She's like, I think they're on the ground. I was like, what? No, they're not on the ground. So I was like, she's like, drive by. I was like, all right, fuck it. So I drive by, and dude, so they were getting arrested, and I guess they stole a bunch of makeup and shit, right? And in my mind, I was thinking, what would happen if they just took off? Like, they could have probably got
Probably
away,
just
dude.
bounced.
They would have probably just ran and got away.
Probably could have.
I mean, or they might have got tasered. So fucking
Yeah.
don't run from the cops.
Don't worry for the cops.
All right. So we were just kind of talking shit today, but we had a good subject. We're talking about all these little fight clips. And seriously, I'm going to make sure I post them so that you guys can give us how you would tighten up the move, or what do you think? I mean, are we off? Are any of these moves actually legitimately possible in a real fight scenario, or is it all just fantasy bullshit? Right?
That's I think that's
Yeah,
good.
I think
Good
so
way to.
too. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. So once again, I will say this for everyone who stuck with us on this one. Even though it wasn't really my fault, but fuck all that. I apologize that we didn't get you guys some episodes last week. We're gonna try not to let that shit happen too often.
Watch us some crash.
Holy
That'd be all, man.
shit.
Hey man, this is still test. We think we fixed it. We hope so. If you're watching this, that means we fixed it.
If you're watching this, it means we fixed it. If we're not, I will silently shed a tear, a manly tear in the shower. I'm not going to do that shit in front of anybody.
Yeah, we should close out. This is a test.
Yeah, this is a test, but fuck it. We're going to see. Rod, take us home.
All right, so yeah, hopefully you guys got some out of that. Let us know. Put in the comments what you think. Whether you think those moves are good, bad, what needs to be fixed on them. I still think that most of them. I think at the end of the day, some are crap, but some could be good if done properly. Some have potential. I just don't think they knew what they were doing really back then. But anyway, like the video, man. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we will definitely try to get you guys next week. Hope it won't happen again, and we'll talk to you guys later. Us.
Us. All right. I think we did good.
Yeah.
What'd you say? Oh, fuck this shit. I'm out. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
You're good on your light?
Yeah, looks good. Everything looks good.
Cool. Well, sir,
Let me know when you're
we're ready to fucking rock and roll.
Ready?
Ready.